Sorry, had myself on mute. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another live stream. I can see Jason in the little box down there shaking his head at me. But hope everyone's had a great week and hopefully got out and did a bit of shooting. So we've got a very interesting story tonight. And very, very interesting, actually. In fact, it's one of the worst written articles I've ever seen in my life. It's absolutely disgusting. And it calls for, as we know, for a large, wide-scale gun ban, or just take guns off everyone to lower the amount of guns in society. So before we start, please hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Find us on Instagram and Facebook. And also, we do have Patreon if you want to support us over at Patreon. So we shall bring Jason in here. Good evening, Jason.
I literally just texted you about making sure you weren't on mute. Are you going to say you didn't check your text prior to the show? Is that what you're saying?
No, I was reading in here. I think we got a certain fat little grubby troll in the comments, and we all know who the disgusting little animal
Why?
is.
Where? I can't see anyone. Where? I want to get excited. Where?
I'll tell you afterwards. I'll text you.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, are they still there or are they gone? Are they still there or gone?
Still there.
Okay.
So how you been, Jason?
Yeah, pretty good, guys. Not too much going on. We're hearing a lot of stuff in the shooting industry. This one's extremely interesting, so it's a good topic for tonight. I have some very sort of interesting news as well when I actually gave these people a phone call as well. So once we have a chat about it, it should be quite interesting. But yeah, nothing much really, no shooting. I was supposed to be going hunting this week, actually. Speaking of that, I wouldn't be on this stream, actually. But beautiful weather Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But Thursday, when I'm going to be there, 20 to 60 mils planned. So we just thought, it's not going to be good. So it's going to be wet, extremely muddy. So, yeah, we decided to pull the pin and just postpone it another, say, 3 or 4 weeks. So, but bit disappointing, but I was looking forward to getting out there, getting the old diesel heater out, getting out, hunting with my mates and have a good time,
Yeah. So there probably won't be a live stream next week because there's the gay pride football, soccer game, whatever's being played there.
Aaron's just jealous. He doesn't get to run around in little tight shorts, man, going, wee!
Yeah, and touching other men and rolling on the ground with other men, yeah. Oh, yeah. So probably no live stream next week. But hey, it's been the longest stint we've had for a while, 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, no, it's been good. It's been good just chatting to everyone, talking about the comings and goings of what's happening in the shooting industry. Unfortunately, again, nothing really as usual, nothing really exciting to talk about. But you're going to be really surprised if you haven't seen this article. I know me and Aaron put it on our page. And very, very interesting.
Yes, it's absolutely despicable if you ask me, in more ways than one. So how have you guys been? Let us know what you've been up to in the comment section. We'll answer a few questions and that. Let's talk a little bit about guns in that first and just, ease into tonight's topic. So we'll see. Yeah.
1 sec. So you take over, but everybody wants to ring me as soon as I,
Or check the private comments on the side here as well. Matt Cato, road closure on the way up here. 70 mils of rain in the last couple of days. Yeah, we were meant to get rain up here, but we haven't. It was meant to rain yesterday. Thank goodness it didn't, because I was actually fixing a massive fire we had out this way. Rebuilding the sheds, so it was all outdoors work. I'm glad it didn't rain, because I think worse than fire properties and water, it just turns into a black chalky slop.
I wonder if old Matt Cato took his guitar up there, do some guitar shredding for the boys. I did call him last week, David Chuddo. He had a few issues with his car, so Matt, hope you sorted that out with your car and all that. But yeah,
we'll have to catch up for a hunt one day, I think.
Yeah, well, Matt could just sit there. Me and Aaron would just hunt all the boars and the foxes, and
and he can just play guitar in the background amusing
us. And he must provide us alcohol as well. Sorry, mate. That's it. I know it's a hard slog, but if you're going to offer us some free hunting, you will make us alcohol as well, mate. All right.
And do not let Jason near the snags on the barbecue. Last hunting trip I went on with Jason, the whole lunch went up in the fire. He touched one sausage, and that was the end of it. Somehow the entire hot plate ended upside down into the fire. You only touched one sausage.
Yeah. Well, we did. But fair enough. We did make some venison. I think it was spaghetti bolognese, didn't we as well?
Spaghetti bolognese out of,
that was Marty with his what was it? The Kings, or the plate that goes over the fire, like the barbecue plate. And it was these guys had such a big fire, like the plate was that bloody hot, man. I felt like I was going to burn my hair off, Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that was we went hungry that day. Tankmeister just missed the last week's show. Had my very first inspection. Cops were good about it. With 2 rusted out under and overs. Is it?
And numbers about I don't know.
Yeah, and about a 6 and about 6 others that were a lot of rust work.
Yeah. Actually, while I'm doing that, Aaron, do just let me. I'm going to share the screen. I'm just going to show him something for a sec that you can use.
Sean said you only need one sausage. Yeah, we didn't even get that because the whole lot ended up in the fire.
Well, it's a given. I only like to play with my own sausage.
Serial numbers. The Tankmeister, you saying that you didn't have serial numbers?
All right, Aaron, just give me approval. Click the yes button. See, this is the stuff, man. This is what I use generally, right? So you go products, right? This is the one that I buy. I use this normally for my firearms, right? So this one here, the Inox, I buy it in 5 liters. I think it's about $80 or $90. You get a free sprayer with it as well. You just apply it to a rag and then wipe it over your guns. That one works too. Sometimes I use that just inside the bore, and I use something else outside, which is the other one, which is Inox MX3. Yeah, where's the? Hang on. What we'll do, we'll just make it easy for myself. Lanox, this one here. So you got this one too, guys. You can see that, Aaron?
Oh, and I was just looking something up.
Yeah, you got it.
Oh,
Yeah. What if I'm on there?
Yeah, I use Inox and that on my work tools to stop plaster and everything.
Oh, sorry. I'll go here because that just opened up another screen. That's why. Oh, now it keeps wanting to open up a different screen. Hang on, guys. Let's see if that works. Give me a sec, Aaron. Bloody hell. It always wants to play up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How do I change? Here we go. View the tab.
Ben says here G96. G96 is very good as well. I like the smell of G96.
Yeah, hang on a sec. What I'm going to do...
G'day, Foxy.
Just going to stop that for a sec. Yeah, but it's basically from Inox. You get Inox or Lanox. So those worth pretty good. Normally I use Inox inside the barrel, Lanox for outside the barrel, gives it that heavy duty thing. It can attract a little bit of dust, but if you just go easy, what I normally do too, Aaron, is I get like an old rag, for like this bag of rags and all that. Take one out, spray the hell out of it with Lanox, and then I scrunch it out until any excess comes out. And then I just chuck it in a Ziploc bag and just chuck it in my bag. And then every time I need to wipe the guns down, I just pull it out, wipe the guns. If it starts to not dry out a little bit, but you need a bit more, you just give it a couple more sprays, and then you just wipe over your gun with it, man. It works. And another tip too, if you want to get into all the nooks and crannies, just go buy a paintbrush, a good quality paintbrush, like $10, a decent size. And then I just spray it with Inox, like maybe 2 or 3 sprays, not very many, and that way you can get into all the nooks and crannies underneath the scope and sort of in a little bit, under the magazine well, unless you're obviously taking the stock off, then you can get better. You do that as well. I do that like once a year. So anyway, it certainly helps. And my firearms don't have any rust. And get one of those golden rods, drill a hole in the side of your safe, and buy one of those golden rods. They're maybe $50 or $60. You just plug it into electricity, and it keeps the ambient temperature inside the safe a little bit higher, which pushes out the moisture. And I think I've only had one very minor issue with rust, but it was a quick, just like this, and it was gone. No problems at all. So
I put a bowl of rice in the bottom as well to capture any moisture, which works as well.
True. I used to have those, what are those, like hippo, the hippo crystals and all that.
Yeah.
But then I started to think, okay, it draws it down here, but the moisture is still in the safe, man. So it kind
of... You've got to change them. You've got to change them out every few weeks.
I know you change them, but I'm like, is that really working if the moisture is still in the safe? That's why I just prefer the golden rod. You just stick it on the wall or at the back behind the safe. Make sure you get the appropriate size for your gun safe, and they work pretty well. I'll show you.
I had trouble inside the house with rust. As soon as I built the gun room, that was that. I never had any problem.
Yeah.
We've got a question here from William.
Just do this one for a sec. Just 1 sec, Aaron. 1 sec. Just share that one.
Okay.
Yeah. So also this one too is pretty good, guys. This is like where Lanox is like more of you can use it for drilling and to keep heat down and stuff like that. If you go to the Lanatech website, right, this one here, if you get the steel seal, this is basically, this one's meant to attract less dust. And what it also does is it doesn't have any cooling features. It's purely just a rust protector. So you can see there too, 4-wheel drive. You can spray it on your underbody if you go, salt water and stuff, cargo corrosion, agricultural vehicles, etc. And this one is meant to attract less dust. You can also get, if you go to Lanatech, they also make a heavy duty one as well. But the steel seal is the one pretty much I use these days as well. It attracts less dust. Anyway, something for you guys.
Yeah. Random question for everyone. How often do you get checked by the police? Well, I've only been checked once in about 15 years. I think our local cops out here do see it as a bit of a pointless exercise, and they've got better things to do with their time. So that's what I could make out when I saw them. So some people get checked heaps, and others, I know people have had their licenses for like 20 years and never seen a safe check at all.
I had one when I first got my safe, moved into a place. Then I moved into my place I'm in now. I've been here for about 9 years, and they came and checked it about 6 months after I moved in, and then they haven't been back since. So that was pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah. They do like to check you when you change your address. Yeah. So
that's right. Yeah.
Another guys, another thing. We've got 4 weeks to go till the here in Queensland at least, you have to finish your mandatory shoots for your pistol license. So guys, don't get caught out. Make sure you've done all your required shoots for the year. Only 4 weeks to go.
Yeah. Foxy86 says, what about Rem oil? I mean, they're all pretty good, man. I don't know. I like things with lanolin in it. That's the byproduct of sheep's wool, the sheep's wool fat or whatever it is, Don't
use WD-40 because that does attract dust, repels water and moisture, but it does attract dust.
But nowhere near attracting dust compared to like Lanox, man. Lanox and Lanatech heavy duty, man, they attract dust like no tomorrow. Really? I think that's why they made the steel seal, because people were spraying it under their cars, and it would attract every bit of dust and mud but generally that's the idea, because if you spray it, then drive over a dusty road, technically you're sealing in all that goodness from rust exposure. But then some people like pristine, immaculate cars, but I mean you're never under your car, so who really cares, I guess. But
that's so Tank Master here says he has got a lot of work to do with his bang sticks, and the stainless ones he got are okay. Yeah,
and also another tip: go to Bunnings and get the Trip 4 steel wool. It's like really light stuff. So 4-0 steel wool. Well, I'll show you guys at the end, but that's the lightest grade you can possibly get. Super fine, takes off rust with a bit of gun oil or a bit of inox or Lanox. Put it on, just rub smooth and then get it off.
Yeah, do it sooner than later before the rust actually starts pitting as well. You don't want your guns getting pitted. And you may, if you have to scrape it off too much. You're going to have to probably re-blue your barrels. So you re-blue your gun as well. But that's easy. Just get the cold blue from liquid from Birchwood and Casey, I think they are.
I mean, I make my thing now that I don't get any, especially in rifles, always stainless now. I don't buy any. Only reason I buy blued shotgun is because that's all you can really get. So that's all I really shoot. So obviously with rifles, though, I pretty much only get the stainless steel ones pretty much. Well, do tell a lie, I do have the Bagara 300 Win Mag. So
yeah.
most guns, let's just say that, most guns.
And Jason shoots a lot of poor man's Seikos, the Tikas, and they're really, yeah. And so he does have a lot of problem with the rusting. Just a cheap steel,
Mine never rust because I've got the golden rod and I use the inox and lanox and I never have an issue.
Yeah, they're pretty much just made out of old rejected Tritons, aren't they?
Hey, the Triton's about to hit 100,000 Ks, mate. Did an oil service on it on the weekend. Next couple of weeks, I've got to do my diffs and all the undercarriage, the transfer case and the manual transmission.
You shouldn't have to change that for the lifetime of the car.
What do you mean? What thing, mate? Diffs and that, mate. You'd be surprised. I had a bit of water in my rear diff, which I was quite surprised about because it was a bit murky, and I thought, that's interesting. So I changed it, ran it for about a month, and then dropped that, and then changed it again. You don't want to be bloody having water in your diff oil, mate. That's for sure.
Yeah, I drive a Toyota, so I don't have that problem.
Yeah, I bet you your diff's full of rust. If not, or you got one of the older ones. I thought if you had one of the newer ones, you'd be blowing smoke from the DPF, mate, exploding every so often. So big bit of dust, bit of smoke down the road.
I am looking at the new Dodge Ram for my next Ute. I really like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
my mate just bought one.
Yeah, 140,000. Mr. Wonderful said one good thing about Victoria: no mandatory yearly shooting requirements for Cat A and B. Yeah, that is true. Not like our failed New South Wales here.
Yeah, we only have it on pistols here, not rifles.
This is a good one. Go 2 down. Ace 1 says, I have a question regarding pistols. So if I let my Cat H go, will that affect my Cat A and B? No. I honestly, I did the same thing, to be honest. I had my pistols for ages, and then I got listen, I'll probably do it again one day when I got more time and I get a bit older. But at the moment,
you kept your license, though, didn't you?
Yeah, I kept my license, but I just got rid of Cat H at just too many attendances, man, which is what they want anyway. And I go hunting, and I don't have with doing this show and other things that I do, I just don't have time to go to that many shoots each year. So I just let it go temporarily. So, but yeah, just let them know to take it off your license so they can reissue your license as well. So,
yeah, I definitely keep the license because it's a pain in the ass to actually get it and a long hassle and wait now. But yeah, if you don't want to do the shoots, just get rid of your handguns. But I think everyone should have a handgun. So
yeah, but I think, hey, if you still got the handgun in New South Wales, if he's in New South Wales, you still have to do the shoots if you've got the license, regardless of whether you have pistols or not.
Oh, up here, you don't. Once you have no pistols, you don't have to do any shoots.
Oh, really? Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
All right, we'll check that for next week. I know in New South Wales, you still have to do it.
Yeah, no, up here you don't. You can keep your license. You only do shoots if you own that caliber of gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Sean White said Cerakote looks good, but scratches and chips off with a lot of hard use. Hey, if they're being used, that's good, man. I'm a bit of a safe queen. I don't like getting my stuff getting damaged. It really gives me the poos. I just, because I'm always looking at it going, I got a scratch on it. Shit, where Aaron just chucks them in. Aaron doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, they're just a tool to me. They're to be shot. Yeah. But
hey, one last one. I've got to answer that one because that goes on from our question. Ace 1 said, yeah, so do I notify them or no? Yes, you got to if you're in New South Wales, you got to fill out a license change form. You're taking off Category H. It's online. You can get it online, and then they'll just take Category H off you. You get a new letter to go into Service New South Wales, take your photo, and then it'll reflect your new license, so that's how you do it.
Yeah, well, here's William. But 10 mandatory shoots for pistol and fingerprinted, Mr. Wonderful. That must be New South Wales. Well, we don't have to get to 10 shoots. I've got to do 12 only because I got 3 different calibers. state.
No fingerprint in New South Wales. That must be Victoria,
no,
is it?
no fingerprint up here either.
Is that Victoria? I think that's Victoria, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, we
Mm.
don't get fingerprint up here. Hey, but who knows? They could be bringing it in. Who does know? Who never knows?
Good one from Tommy Gunn too. He says, "Still cannot buy a pistol here in Canada." Yes, well, Tommy, I'm telling you, I've been watching him. I watch all the House of Commons. A couple of YouTube channels that I follow where they're discussing politics. And man, I tell you what, that Pierre Poilievre, mate, I would be from someone from a major party, except for Donald Trump. That guy's impressing me, I tell you. About the only two politicians, maybe three, with David Leyonhjelm here in that was Senator for New South Wales. Pierre Poilievre, I think they're actually scared now. I think he has no chance of beating Pierre at the next election. So it's going to be interesting to see. Young guy, 45, 46, very well spoken, absolutely just shredding Justin Trudeau. He's got nothing, mate. One of the really good politicians I've seen of late. So, and I normally don't like very many, just like Aaron doesn't.
Yeah, Dagmar says get a Tundra. No, I don't want a Toyota for a large jet. I want American muscle. I'm going that way. My next car will be a muscle car, and my ute will be American. That's for sure. And they're looking at making. They may be making the actual Rams and out of the factory soon. I've heard they're thinking of making them right-hand drive. It should lower the price by about 30 to 40 grand because they're selling so many here. They can't even keep them on the shelf here in Australia.
Yeah, yeah.
So I also have some. Okay, before we get into the gun news, guys, I have some chainsaw news since everyone seemed to enjoy the chainsaw talk last week. Well, I know a manager of a chainsaw shop. I'm not going to say which shop it is. But he said they've started ordering for lawnmowers as well, all battery lawnmowers, because Australia in 5 years' time are banning all petrol and 4-stroke and 2-stroke lawnmowers, whippersnippers, chainsaws, and all that. And all you're going to be able to get is battery-operated ones. And that's all that's coming in. Right now, there's a 2-year wait for a battery zero-turn.
Well, they can jam that up their bum. I will not be converting to battery.
Yeah.
They will bring in 2-stroke. We all love the 2-stroke. We love the singing of a 2-stroke saw.
Battery. Is it?
Nah, stupid. Anyway, going back here for a sec, before you do that, we've got our friend Steve from Southern Star Review. Just check out. He actually did. His mate Shane was doing one about his log splitter. They just released on YouTube, so you can check that out.
Yeah.
Foxy86 said, "Same here, Aaron. Do mine every 5K for filter oils. I guess he does every 5,000. Diffs and transfers every 10. I think you're getting a bit crazy doing your diff and transfer every 10,000." Maybe 40,000 or maybe every 2 years, but not. I wouldn't do it after. I don't think you need to do your diff and your transfer and your manual trans every 10,000. But I'm happy to be corrected. But I think even most of the major manufacturers say 80,000 or 40 to 80,000. So if you're doing 40,000 a year, I'd say but not many of us are doing 40,000 Ks a year.
Yeah, I do. Mine's about 260,000 now on my ute.
Yeah, right. Well,
I want to get
yours is getting on.
I want to get 1 million Ks on my highlights.
Yeah, but I've seen the condition of that. It'll be scratched and rusted through before you get 1 million.
I haven't got any rust. Got a few dings and dents in the doors from hunting and on the farm. But once again, it's just a work vehicle. It's not a princess car.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, hey, like I said, I can't complain about the Triton, man. It's all the worst of it's getting a bit. I did get a bit freaked out a couple of times, man, when I've gone hunting and I'm on a few of those windy roads. I've got to get my suspension looked at. I think it needs replacing. It's got 100,000 with a bull bar. I've never changed it. It's starting to roll a bit. And it's starting to become a little bit dangerous. I remember coming home from the Ducks, man, and I hit a pothole at about 100 Ks an hour, man, a big one, because it all flooded down there, remember? And all the trucks were using the back roads, man. These roads were, mate, honestly, they got years of work to fix all this damage up. I hit the thing. I felt like the car went sideways, man. I thought I was dead, man, for sure. And somehow I was able to stop the vehicle just by braking. I hit something and went man, honestly, I thought I was dead, man. Even my mate in front of me said, "What the hell are you doing?" And I said, "Mate, I just hit a massive pothole and thought I was going to die."
Yeah. Oh, this is. Did you damage your wheels?
No, but it's just rolling a lot, man. Like if I'm coming down a hill and I'm turning right, mate, the body's rolling, still wants to go that way, man. Still wants to go the same way the inertia of the vehicle's going. So
You had
it's just
had alignment?
no, but it's rolling. It's bouncing. It's rolling. It's not good,
Oh,
man. So I think I need to if I'm going to do it, it's probably going to cost me just as much to get a lift. But I'm thinking 7 years old. Do I really want to spend fucking $3,000 on a lift for it? You know what I mean? At this point,
let's get another one. Neil's got a good one.
Yeah, go Ford.
Oh, Ford, the gay pride after they did the gay Ford. Yeah, I'd never own a Ford 150, and that, especially after now they support the gay pride and the Rainbow Mafia. No, thank you.
Here we go. I got a question for guys in the chat before we get onto our topic. So I need a new set of tires. So I've got BF Goodrich KO2s, right? The original size was 245, 65, 16. I went 265, 75, 16. Now, sometimes when I go over like a little mound and one of the wheels flex, sometimes it hits the cross member of my tray and makes a bit of a noise, which is generally not good, right? But I've also noted because they're heavy tires and that there's a lot of rolling resistance, one, my fuel economy's gone down, and there's just that rolling resistance sometimes getting started on hills. So I'm just wondering if I should go down to 265/70 from 265/75, or should I go down one size smaller, like 255/70/16? What do you guys think? I'm thinking, because I've had those BF Goodriches since brand new. They've still got probably 15% left, and they got 97,000 Ks on them. I've had those vehicles or those tires since 2015 on the vehicle. They've never been changed. I've had it for 7 years.
That's real good.
So. Yeah. And I'm thinking about Wild Peaks too, Falcon Wild Peaks in the non-light truck version, because they're about 5 kilos lighter per corner or per tire. So I just want to see what you guys think about it. You know, should I go because there's a lot of sometimes I'm on a hill, and because of the gearing, I've really got to ride the clutch hard, man, to go. Otherwise, my mate goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "I'm putting it in 4-wheel drive, because if I don't ride the clutch, we'll just conk out, man. I'll stall the car." So I'm thinking, do I go down one size or go 265/70 instead of the 265/75, or completely drop a tire size 255 and then go in the middle? I'm thinking, I don't know.
There's not much love for the old Ford forever in the driveway.
Yeah,
they've definitely done a Bud Light, that's for sure.
Yeah, Southern Star Review says he's got 90,000 Ks and his KO2 is pretty well buggered. Yeah, mine are getting a bit old anyway. They're 7 years old. The rubber's getting a bit hard, I would presume. So I'm not sure. What did C. Henderson say? 255 are generally what utes come with, but 17 usually. Yeah, I know. The original MN Triton 2015 come with 245, 65. 245, 65, 16. So I'm thinking 255, 75. But I must admit, with the big tires, it does look mean. But I thought if I had to get into some really hairy 4-wheel driving, mate, there's no way, because when I flex, it hits. If I go too much flex, it goes, you know?
Yeah. I think
not when I'm turning. It doesn't scrub when I'm turning the front wheels, just the back for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the Triton is just about to give up the ghost.
Yeah.
What about the Mickey Thompsons? I've know a few guys who had those and haven't been that impressed.
I mean, they're all pretty good, man. Like I said, what I normally do, I get five tires. So then I rotate all 5 tires into rotation. So then when I get new tires, I get all 5. Then I've only got to lift up one corner and then switch them all around. And then, one goes back to the spare. And then next, every 5,000 Ks, it takes about 20 minutes if you've got a gun, like get them off, jack it up. It takes about 20 minutes. And then, mate, you get 100,000 Ks instead of getting 40,000 Ks.
Yeah, I'm thinking of putting a hoist in my extension to the workshop I'm about to build.
Mate, the thing's already big enough. Forget it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry.
I need bigger. I need bigger.
Mate. You're a single person. All you need is a 1-bedroom unit overlooking, what's that, Fortitude Valley. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Anyway, C. Henderson, Cooper, AT3s, they're pretty good apparently. And Mickey's. Next one, you got Max's, Kumo off-road. Yeah, they're a bit on the cheaper side, aren't they? But they're pretty good.
Yeah, I just run the Kumos on mine, and they're fine.
Yeah, I want to see what Neil says. He goes, get new tyres, 255, 75. Yeah, maybe that's true because, again, the 75 is the 75% of the 255 height. So, yeah, that's a possibility too, man. We'll think about it. I've got to get them soon, man, because, I mean, I'll pass Red Joe, but, you know. Anyway, let's get on to our topic. We've got a good topic.
Yeah, been half an hour into it. So, now, there was this article that came out, and I'll bring it up.
While you're talking about that, Ace One says while you're bringing that up, Toyo. Yeah, Toyo. They're the Open Country. Toyo Open Country, I think they're called, aren't they? Yeah, AT3s on my wife's 200, says Steve.
Yeah.
You can't really read it. It's a bit...
Yeah, it's a bit hard to read.
Just readable.
You'll find this article on both Jason's and mine Facebook page as well, so if you really want to read it. But this guy here is a so-called farmer, isn't he? And it goes, if the police minister wants to seriously reducing the risk of firearms in the community, he would ban anyone who is not a primary producer or a competition shooter from owning a firearm. That's the opinion of the WA Farmers Chief Executive, Trevor Whitington, who says for the police minister, Paul Parler, to achieve his desired outcome of reducing the number of firearms and their risk to the WA community would need to target recreational shooters who form the majority of WA's 89,000 licensed firearm owners. The following backlash from the government's gun reform proposals earlier this year, mainly due to the lack of consultation with key industry shareholders. It goes on a bit about that. The one thing we know the minister wants is for there to be less guns in the community, which is fine. So he's saying that's fine. He wants less guns in the community and to reduce the risk of firearms in the community. So this guy here seems to be agreeing with it. But
let me go there. Let me read that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that?
You go. You read that, then you go.
Yeah, but to have the material impact, that he would have to go a lot further, and he would have to ban firearms ownership in the recreational shooting community. That would cull at least 70,000 of state 90,000 licensed firearm owners overnight, and he will not be willing to do that. So you can take it from there, Jason.
Yeah, so Mr. Whittington said reduce the risk of firearms to the community wasn't a matter of having less guns per person, but rather a matter of less people having guns. It's a bit hard to read, guys, so if I make a few mistakes, I'm sorry. The brutal reality is that when you compare a place like the United States to Japan, the US has lots of gun deaths, about 30,000 a year, while Japan has very few. Mr. Whittington says, I think it's Whittington anyway, not Whitington. It could be Whitington. There are a few cultural differences, but the main one, scroll up. The main one is that Japan has serious restrictions on firearms. While Mr. Whittington acknowledged that recreational shooting community would be upset by his stance, he said the majority of WA farmer members weren't recreational shooters. When it comes down to it, farmers need firearms for their job and recreational shooters do not, he said. So this is the fourth quote in, guys. So this is probably the worst article I've ever read. The recreational shooting community is annoyed at us because they want us to burn our political capital looking after them. But the bottom line is it's not getting phone calls from my members saying I need more than 10 guns. The number of firearms proposed for the potential primary producer's license established in April. WA Farmers is part of the primary producers, blah, blah, blah. That's not important. I'm just going to go back. I'm just reading it a bit forward, guys. I'm just making sure there are, hang on, stop there. This is the third line of text. There are just more attempts by the minister to what is that? The various firearms groups and implement the divide and conquer strategy. Mr. Fitzgerald said, I guess he's from CIFA spokesman. But getting to the point, guys, this is quite scary stuff.
Yeah, it is. So, so Jason, actually, you talked to these guys, didn't you, Jason, during the week?
Well, I talked to one of them. So if you go, I rang up. So I'm on the WA Farmers page, right? So I rang that president. His name's John Hassel. So I decided to ring him. I got caught up with a bit of work later that afternoon, so I was going to ring the other guy after that, but I didn't get around to the stage. But I rang that president, Paul Hassel, and had a chat to him for about, I don't know, probably 15 minutes. And I said, this is probably one of the worst articles I've ever read in my life. And I go, why on earth would a WA farmers that also rely on shooters to have a great relationship, that, you know, shooters are out there working for farmers, also, you know, creating relationships with these people. Why on earth would you want to create some sort of divide between farmers and the shooting community? And so what he says to me, I don't know if it's true. He goes, oh, I did write a follow-up article, and there's also one coming out in the Farm Weekly magazine. And I said, well, I don't have access to that. Is that online? So I did check online, but there was nothing there. And it looks like that website, they're not really updating their website on that Farm Weekly or whatever it's called. So I just said, why on earth? So he proceeded then to say to me, I said, are you in support of those types of rhetoric that he's giving out? Because one, it's a bad look for the person that's representing WA farmers. But I said, what this does is pit law-abiding firearms owners and hunters against farmers. And I said, why would he say that? And he reckons we've totally got it wrong, right? Even though he reckons he's been totally taken out of context, right? And what he was actually referring to was, he was making a point that if these people, like, I guess me and Aaron have said this in a way of, like, I think Ben Shapiro's even said it as well when he was talking to Piers Morgan a couple of years ago, that, well, if you want to have a discussion about taking all the guns away from people, then maybe that's a discussion you need to have in regards to taking that to the general public, if that's what you want to do. But what he said was, he wasn't referring to people getting their gun licenses taken off them, just that if it was serious, well, it's not feasible to take this many guns off people. But if you wanted to do something, then that's what he could do. So it kind of doesn't make sense. But by the end of it, I was thinking, this is the worst article I've ever read from anyone that works in the farming community, right? So this guy's either telling me the truth, because I said, apparently Bob Catter had called him. He said, he goes, oh, Bob Catter's called me and also been chewing my ear off as well. But he seemed like willing to hear me out. But then also on the flat side, towards the end of the conversation, he pretty much just wanted to get off the phone. He was being short so he could get off the phone. So, and he basically, from the sounds of it, he was sick of fielding calls and having to defend this guy. So this is, like I said, worst article I've ever read. It either means exactly what he says it means, which is this guy seriously wants to take firearms away from people. Because if I look up his history too, this Whittington guy, I think he's got a degree in international law and politics and economics or something along those lines. So he really, I don't even know if he's a farmer or what experience he has to be in control of WA farmers. But, you know, listen, this article is that bad that I think it also could, there's a chance, only a chance it could possibly be true. But the fact that he was sort of trying to get me off the phone, and at the end of it was like, well, is he just saying this to shut people up? Well, he didn't really mean that, because this is fucking terrible, this article.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Here we go. Here.
But look, he even says here, but look, go back to the first time. Go put it to the side for a sec. Go take it off for that. Go to the right-hand side just for a sec. Pull it off, so wait for it. Yeah, he goes, but to have any material impact, he would have to go a lot further than he is. And he would have to ban firearms ownership in the recreational shooting community. That would cull 70 to 90,000 licensed shooters. But he's not willing to do that. That's almost a dare. That's almost a dare to me. Well, if you're serious about it, why don't you ban shooters? How is that defending shooters? So this guy was trying to make out to me that this guy was defending shooters. Like saying, well, if you're serious about it, you can have a discussion around taking, but you're not going to do that. And you're not going to do that anyway. You're not going to take shooters. So what's the point of even having the discussion? That's the point I guess he says he was trying to make. But I don't know, man. Doesn't sound great to me at all, man. I think this is just a bit of a cover-up, to be brutally honest. But, you know, It's so bad that I'm kind of confused, but he could possibly be telling the truth just because of how sheerly idiotic this article is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So Where are we here? No. Oh man, I've got to try and find it again. I got the
Zoom in. I
article.
want to zoom in it again. I want to have see if there's anything else there. Yeah, well, guys, look at that the second line of text, right? When it comes down to it, farmers need firearms for their job and recreational shooters do not. And I told this Paul Hassel, I said, listen, you can get away with if shooters get banned, okay, not going to be happy. Everyone's going to be upset. It's going to be very bad. But how long do you think, man, before they come after farmers, man? I said, you got to get out of this short. So you got to tell this Whittington idiot. How long before you think the police start coming after farmers, man? How long? How long? You know?
Exactly. And that's the thing. I reckon one day they're going to basically just pretty much get rid of the majority of shooters, get rid of that. Farmers, no, you don't need guns. And they'll just have government officials. If you need stuff culled on your property, you'll have to get the government onto your property to do it. I reckon that could be pretty much the end game.
Yeah. And if you have a look on that first line of text too, on the first line, about halfway down, it says, following the backlash from the government on gun reform, but proposals earlier this year, mainly due to the lack of consultation with key industry stakeholders, Mr. Whittington told Farm Weekly the government wasn't willing to take a hard line to achieve its policy outcomes.
Yeah, sort of like he's goading them into it.
Yeah, and he goes, the one thing we know is the minister wants is for there to be less guns in the community, which is fine, and to reduce the risk of firearms in the community, Mr. Whittington said. But again, I don't know how you're trying to. I think they've been caught out, man. I think there's probably an element maybe to both, but he's definitely been caught out because I told him, I said, listen, I'd understand one paragraph being taken out of context, man, right? But he's got like four or five quotes, and none of them sound good, man. None of them.
Yeah. Well, here we go. Here he is, his LinkedIn profile. CEO of Western Australian Farmers Federation. Western Australian Farmers Federation here. University of Western Australia. So he works university.
Let me read this, man. Look at the about page. Look at how wankery this is, right? Too many years inside government defending the indefensible and spinning the political narrative while watching journalists miss behind the story has left me outside of the political tent, telling it as I see it, which usually makes me very unpopular with government ministers. I mean, that's on your LinkedIn, man. Really? Yeah. So basically what he's trying to say here is, well, I probably wanted to be a politician, but my views might have been out of the norm. So they basically probably who knows, they've got rid of me, or I've got no chance of becoming a politician. So now he wants to probably cause them as much grief as possible. So like I said, there's possibly some truth. I don't know, man. I'm confused. What do you guys think? Do you think this guy's...
In my opinion, there's too many of those comments in that article to be taken out of context. Yeah, one, maybe two, but like 4 or 5, no. I'm sorry. I just can't exactly see it.
Matt Outdoors Adventures goes, that farmer has drunk the magic Kool-Aid. Well, we don't even know if he's even a farmer, man. He's got, he's just a guy that represents, he's the CEO of WA Farmers Federation.
Yeah, exactly. Here we go. Get a truckload of foxes and dump them on his property. see how he feels.
Well, let's not do anything that's going to get anyone in trouble. Put it that way.
No.
I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think he means what he says, or do you think this is a complete stitch up? Because I mean, again, he's obviously not a dumb man. That's true. He's obviously not a dumb man. Dumb with what he says, but he doesn't sound like a complete moron. So. And his words were very specific. So I want to see what you guys think. Because when I ring him up, apparently it's totally out of context, totally out of character. He didn't mean that. He said if they were serious about doing it, they would do this. But knowing full well, that's not what he's recommending, apparently. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Well, I agree with Retro. That's the kind of guy you wouldn't trust as far as you can throw him. Yeah, not at all. Yeah. Too many gaffes, too many of those comments in that article to, taking every single one out of context.
Yeah.
And why haven't they gone on their Facebook page and denounced this guy and said this is not the views of WA farmers at all?
Yeah.
If they haven't.
And we're seeing it now with category Ds, people, getting category Ds in certain states across the country to try not, so that way, if anything gets banned, they'll still be able to, have their guns or make their Facebook and YouTube content because they've got the appropriate licenses. But their luck will run out too, man. Their luck will run out too. If they're going to ban 22s from the general public, mate, your category D holders aren't going to have your ARs in that, mate. I can tell you, if they completely disarm the citizens, I can tell you, you'll be lucky. You'll probably have what the category A and B shooters had before the ban, which is basically bolt actions. You're not going to have suppressors or semi-autos and all this sort of stuff, because if all shooters lose their guns, they're not going to leave Cat D and farmers with all the access to their stuff. And even if they do, for how long? For how long?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, as we said, 20 years. A few of our predictions have come true. Well, most of our predictions have come true, unfortunately. Yeah, another one's come true, and we'll find out the truth in about a week. That's quite funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
That we said. So,
and who's our buddy? What's his name again? Our buddy. Sorry, man. I've read he was on here just a little bit earlier. Mr. Wonderful. We love Mr. Wonderful, a very valued member of our live stream. But again, we kept saying about the Liberal guys, and I know they wanted them to win. Hey, I didn't want Labor to win either. But when we make predictions, we're generally pretty spot on. I mean, I challenge anyone to say any of our predictions that haven't come true yet. Even I can't even think of one. Maybe someone can, but most of my predictions, 99.9%, I'd say 100% at this point, have all come true. All the stuff I was saying throughout the 10 years of the podcast, and everyone, that's not going to happen. You're being a bit overboard and being a bit overzealous. And now I see people on their YouTube channels, Facebook pages that are part of their YouTube channels, or whatever it is, community leaders basically that are popular now, that never talked about politics, all of a sudden now are starting to get the shits, and they're posting a lot about it too.
Because it's going to probably affect them.
So it's great to see.
I can tell you now, from when I've read comments that the WA police have been watching some YouTube channels over WA of long-range shooting and that, and it has really sunken into their heads. So it's done a little bit more harm than what I think these YouTubers actually think.
Tommy Gunn says the Commonwealth is going woke and broke at the same time. Well, yeah, mate, we're in the Commonwealth too, mate. Canada, UK, England, Australia, New Zealand.
Scotland has one of the worst free speech environments ever. You get done for upsetting some blue-headed butt munchers' feelings, saying you don't agree with them. And that's basically jailable offence over there. What about the poor lady who was praying outside across the road peacefully an abortion clinic, and they arrested her, some lady, doing no harm because she was protesting the abortion.
Mate, as soon as I see one of those freaks with purple hair, nothing good's going to come out of their mouth. Oh. But Neil makes a good point. Neil, our longtime friend Neil Constance now, he says he knows what he's writing. So he's talking about Whittington from WA farmers. Like I said, very specific language. Don't think the guy's dumb. He chooses his words very carefully. You can tell the way it's been. And this is in quotes, so apparently. So he's either written it, he's spoken it while they're maybe recording the conversation so they can write their article later. But it seems very specific. And there's how many? 3, 4, 5 quotes, something like that. And I just don't think it's adding up, mate. And for the guy that's the president, I said, is this something you support? Because I said, you're all over the internet, mate. Every shooting organization and not organization, social media knows all about this, man. The guy's copping an absolute flogging. And he goes, oh, no, I've already heard about it. Like, I think he'd already been, by the time I called, obviously he's been copping it from everybody. So I said, well, I wouldn't be defending him. And I'd be, he goes, well, I'm going to support him, but that's not what he meant. We're doing an update article and the thing. And I said, well, what's the point of pitting farmers against sporting shooters and hunters, mate? It's just stupid. I said, if you think that I'm coming after you one day, I said, you guys, WA farmers have got their head in the sand.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, absolutely mad. As I said, I think there's too many of those comments in there to have all been taken out of context. I really do. Tell us what you think, guys, in the comments. Do you think that's what he's meant and said, or do you think it was just a coincidence that about 5 times he was taken out of context.
Yeah, and William makes a good point. He's talking about the category D. He goes, I would get a Cat D, but I choose not to because it's a total joke that pro shooter can have one, but not a normal everyday shooter can't too. Yeah, and I guess emails about that too, like, and even text messages on Facebook and that, or messages, people saying, like, what's the difference between a shooter and someone that's proven via a couple of contracts to get a category D or 5 contracts, whatever it is, when they're on a land? I said, mate, nothing. There's nothing. Like, even if someone calls themselves a pro shooter, man, I just think, like, really?
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah. Well,
like, there's no difference between a guy. Listen, maybe they might be a bit more accurate. Maybe they shoot a bit more. Okay, fair enough. But I mean, at the end of the day, man, I've seen guys that shoot 4 or 5 times a year, long range. They hit the arse end of a bloody, they hit a bee's dick, mate. That's how good they are. And they shoot 4 times a year because the type of work they got, they just can't get out. I tell you, mate, they shoot fucking, mate, brilliant shooters, mate. Brilliant shooters. They got the best gear, the best reloads, mate. And even a couple of times, 3 times, 4 times a year, they're meeting their requirements, mate. They're shooting the hair off the back of a bloody flea. You know what I mean? So this whole pro shooter Cat D thing is just a bit of a laugh, in my opinion. But anyway, and I used to have one. I was no different. I used to have one. There's nothing in it. Nothing in it.
Yeah, the old 100-acre scam as well to get your Cat C here. I've got 100 acres and I've got a feral pest problem. I brought a handful of cows, and so they don't even check any of this. They don't check and come out and see your property and see if you do have a pest problem. Yeah, okay, you got 100 acres. We'll just give you a Cat C then, not a problem. And give your family members a Cat C license as well. It's a bit of a joke, really.
Yeah, and Sloth E makes a good point. He goes, these are all the issues we've been talking about for decades. Remember back in the day, the AHN. Oh, yeah, the old AHN form. I haven't been on there for years, but before Jason even started the podcast, where these were talking points were common. It's all come to fruition. Yeah, and I still get guys talking to me too saying, it's all about the political. We've got to get people in Parliament. Listen, that'd be great if we were actually achieving doing that. But it's 25 years, and actual fact, we're actually losing pro-gun candidates. So I don't know when this magical 100 shooters in Parliament's going to be a real thing. Maybe 2055? I mean, we're going backwards, man. So I don't know what we're going to do, man. I just, it's just a bad situation to be in. All this WA stuff. Like I said, potentially this duck hunting ban, South Australia, Victoria, the bow hunting ban in South Australia. I mean, this is the worst year we probably, in the WA gun ban coming up in what, Aaron?
4 weeks.
About 3 weeks, just under 3 weeks. It's just about 3 weeks. So, we've heard nothing about it, guys. No one's fighting it. Nothing is happening. So we're just going to, in 4 weeks, 3 weeks, the guns will be banned. No
organisations doing anything. Nothing. Pathetic. Bones, what's next? Fishing and camping? Well, you got to get licenses to go fishing, which I think is pathetic. We're taxpayers. Why should we have to pay the government to go and catch a few fish in our own waters? So citizens of the country got to pay to fish in our own waters. I think that's totally and utterly wrong. Camping fees, if they general camping with no facilities, you shouldn't have to pay to go camping on public land. Okay, if you go use the facilities, maybe a few bucks or a donation. If they got a kitchen or like mess halls or something like that. Like where I used to do mountain climbing and that sort of stuff overseas years when I was younger, and hiking. You'd have big dormitories and that on top of mountains and big hiking things. You used to have to pay like a donation and that sort of stuff. Yeah, but if you go, this is what pisses me off. Everything has a fee or a fine attached to it here in Australia. On our own land, you got to pay to go fish, which I think is absolutely disgusting. You got to go pay and hunt, which is bullshit. You got to pay to go camping in a tent on some public land. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. I wanted to bring up one quickly too, Aaron. This one's about, this gets even worse. All right. Let me bring this up quickly before we finish off. Where is it? All right. Sorry. Present, share screen. Yeah, this one's even worse, guys. Where we go. Let me know when it's up. All right. So
zoom in on it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. Which one is it? This one? It's this. No, it's not. It's that one. Okay, so let's see if I can zoom in. Is it big enough? Hang on. Better?
Zoom in. Yeah, that's good.
All right, so WA farmers property letters. As you guys know, if you don't join a club, you can get a letter from a farmer, pretty much universal across the entire part of Australia, as far as I'm aware. Western Australia's property letter system is set to be overhauled in the state's gun law reform, which claims of corruption and abuse. So apparently, if a farmer signs off on your license to go shoot on their land, apparently that's abuse and corruption. Under existing laws, rural property owners in WA can issue letters permitting people to hunt on their land. Blah, blah, blah. The letters are used by recreational shooters to gain access to guns and licenses. Not a big deal, like every state around the country. It's not illegal to buy or sell property letters in WA, and once they are given, they cannot be rescinded. Outgoing Premier Mark McGowan said the property letter system had become a loophole for people to abuse the system. What, to get a gun license? They can just join a club and get a gun license anyway. What's the big deal? It's been abused, said Mr. McGowan. Lots and lots of people in the city have these letters and therefore go and buy guns, and I suspect never set foot on a farm. So that's obviously a system that needs dramatic reform. So apparently, if you get a license, anyway, letters to be cancelled. Pastelers and Grazers Association Policy Director Sheldon Mumby said he was not surprised by the move. The problem with the current system is that it's been in place such a long time. There's no real central record of what's happening with the property letters. Well, you provide the letter, you've satisfied the genuine reason to the registry. This leaves a whole range of issues, blah, blah, blah. You guys get the drift. He said all existing letters would need to be cancelled on new laws. Recreational shooters will need to reapply and seek a new property letter, which will be recorded on a database. So what's the big deal? Mr. Mumby said there was uncertainty over whether or not landholders would remain in control of issuing letters. So they will tell you whether you can hunt on someone's own land. So if a farmer is seeking your expertise to help them, they'll decide whether you hunt there or not. Unbelievable. Now, this is the worst part. As far as I'm aware, Jack Carmody either is or was part of the Shooters, Fishers and Farmers Party of Western Australia. Pastorist Jack Carmody said he had already established a registry to keep track of property letters for his Goldfields cattle station. Okay, that's great for him. That's good. Mr. Carr said he formally supported the proposed changes to the property letter system. Why? Yes. We've been approached on numerous times to sell the property letters. We disagree. Okay, what do you mean sell property letters? Most people would be getting property letters from farmers they're actually hunting on. To say this is, well, he's not saying this, but to say there's letters, so, yeah, of course, any system is going to be abused, right, in some way, shape, or form. But it would be extremely minor, like anything. In addition to the anticipated...
a lot less than what politicians do. For corruption.
Exactly. Any addition to the anticipated changes, Mr. Carmody also believed a renewal process would be beneficial to better control the letters. This approach would ensure the genuine need for foreign. I mean, again, I keep saying, why do we need enemies when we have idiots like this? And then I just made sure Shooters and Fishers Farmers candidate Jack Carmody, but apparently he wants to cut red tape. Cut red tape, he says.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely, yes.
Oh, sorry, I missed it. Hang on, my apologies. Hang on, I've got to go here. Which one is it? Go back again. Hang on a minute. How do I switch over to the different one? Okay, what I'm going to do, Aaron, give me a sec. Give me approval again. People probably didn't realize why I went a bit silly then, so this will make sense to them. Okay, yep, go. Yep. Okay, there you go, guys.
Shooters and Fishers Farm candidate Jack Carmody wants to cut red tape. Yeah, and cut everyone's access to guns as well. By the sounds of it.
I thought when I switched over tabs, you guys could see that. Hence, I was going a bit silly there. But that's what I'm talking about. You know, he wants to cut red tape, but in the article, he's been quoted as saying, "Well, you know, yeah, I support this. Letters are being sold. It's a problem, you know. It's not a problem. It's not a problem anywhere. That might be like less than 1% of people. Any system is going to be abused, but 99.9% of people do the right thing. So it's interesting. This guy says cutting red tape. He wants to cut red tape. But in the next breath, he goes, yeah, I support these changes of these stupid government officials. Crazy, man. What's going on with our pro-gun representatives, man? Unbelievable.
Yeah, so is anyone in the stream right now going to be affected by this new caliber ban in WA? That's what I want to know. And if you are, what are you going to be selling your guns, or you got a price for your guns yet, or what's happening?
Yeah, good question. I mean, what do you guys think about this anyway? This letter business anyway. Before we finish off, What do you got? Bring up, just run a heap of comments, Aaron, before we finish off. Just get some comments up on the screen. Just read them and bring them up quickly.
Yeah.
Redneck Rumbler says the voice is dead. Well, yeah, me and Aaron will not be voting for any voice rubbish. We're not going to further divide Australians on race, sex, religion, or any of those along those lines. We won't be doing that.
The only thing that's going for us, Australia's never won a referendum, so let's hope we don't win this one.
Are you voting yes to the voice?
Nah, hell no. No. The old Aborigine grift has definitely seen and done its day. It just crippled Australia to the max. Divided and financially crippled Australia, the old Aborigine grift. It really is. Phantom, don't you have to send a letter into your gun registry to get your license? Yep, you do up here in Queensland. If you're using that, you got to send it into the registry, and they keep a hold of it as well. Yeah, I think you just have to send a cover letter in for it. That's what I did. But I belong to a pistol club as well that covers me.
Yeah, I was just looking. Someone said in the comments, sorry if you didn't hear that comment, Mr. Tankmeyer said, Carmody has gone turncoat and stopped watching his YouTube videos. I'm trying to find it. Is that Tom Brooks Farm, or is that not the one we're looking at? No, have I got that one wrong? I do apologize. That's not his. That's John J.H. Not sure if that's him.
Yeah, this country is so corrupt and disgraceful and disgusting. It certainly is. Australia's definitely gone to the pack. Excuse me.
Yeah. If anyone knows what it is, let me know. But anyway, bring up some comments, Aaron, before we...
Aaron Johnson, build walls around WA and Victoria and cut them off. Oh, there's a lot of good people down in Victoria.
Mr. Wonderful says, just don't vote for socialists is all. Yes, I agree. But sorry, man, listen, I know Labor suck and I know the Nationals, and why do they vote for anti-gun? I see them as no different than Labor, mate. Okay, there might be they're Labor, the Liberal Party is Labor of the 1990s, mate. Well, I shouldn't even think that now, man. I think the Liberal is just a little bit less far left than Labor. I think look at Victoria. Look at the stuff they're saying, man. Look at all the internal factions they're having. It's just terrible down there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah? Southern Stars, all of us will be affected. Exactly. I'm predicting with this WA gun ban, give it 5 years and we'll start seeing some of it, if not all of it, filtered through all of our states. I guarantee it. If the next round of elections, Labor gets in, and the states again, I think you'll start seeing it filtering through.
Yeah. Someone just told me the YouTube channel. I won't say it on here because obviously we don't want to give him any free publicity. But if you read the comments, you'll find it. But
no matter who you vote for, you'll always be disappointed. 100%, Godzilla.
It's just sad, man, when, our pro-gun people, start singing the same tune as these anti-gunners, man, or, I agree with this. We're not saying no. No one's abusing that system. Show us evidence. No. They've got no evidence. Show me where someone's purchased a property letter. Oh, just like when they said they're going to ban the calibers, show us where a police officer got shot at long range with any of those calibers. None. So what's the point of it? Yet these people just go, oh, okay, yeah, this letter system, got to get rid of that,
Exactly.
Unbelievable,
yes, pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. As it's wonderful said, they haven't explained it to us, and they never will.
I know this all seems like it's, hyperbolic and all that. I just want our shooting community or the politicians and the organizations to defend us. They're even starting to agree. I see the comments from people on my Facebook page. Even they're starting to swallow all the purple-haired weirdo men in children's toilets, and they're all for it, man. They're all for it. I see the comments from shooters, man. Even they've sucked down the purple-haired pill, man. It's just terrible.
I thought they would have come after me. I was hoping they'd come after me on my post on my Facebook page this week, but none of the freaks did.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
it's just and someone said on his YouTube channel he's out there shooting camels. I said, oh yeah, because don't forget, guys, just like Whittington said, if you were serious, you'd get rid of the sporting shooters, mate, and the hunters, mate. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you do?
Yeah.
I don't think it's that hard just to defend shooters. It's really not that hard. Like honestly, me and Aaron don't have any qualifications in this sort of stuff, and these guys do. They're smart people, and yet they say the stupidest, dumbest things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, it's it's definitely going to be interesting in 3 weeks' time about what's going to happen. We'll definitely be doing a live stream then. Once again, Southern Stars, Steve, he went and phoned up not the organisations, the importers, and asked what they're doing about it, and not one of them got back to him. They never will. They're gutless pricks. They never will. They've got another 100 guns they can sell you with your money that you're going to get from the government for your private property that you're going to have to surrender.
And mind you, he called 3, if not 4, of the major importers, guys, the biggest importers in the country. And I actually rang him up because I had to ring him up and ask him. I said, how many actually got back to you? I forgot to ask. And he goes, oh, none. None got back to him. So all the people, guys, it just goes to show that I want to deal with anything hard. When you start ringing them up and questioning about what these importers are doing, that the guns are being banned, they're doing sweet FA, guys. That's what I said. Don't support them. Don't support them, at least for the time being, until you start seeing some action, or spend your money elsewhere. Spend your money on companies that you know are doing something. Don't be swindled by these people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's definitely interesting times coming up, that's for sure. I just can't understand why anyone would belong to an organisation with a genuine reason, because they just don't do anything for you. It's just, soon as Jason, we talked about this today. We've said it in the past, as soon as you get involved with the organisation and the money starts rolling in, that's the end of it. All there is dollar signs, and your true spirit and reasoning for doing this goes out the door. That's the way I see it. Anyway.
And hey, again, this probably sounds like conspiracy level stuff here, but it's not really. Again, who do you think would support the removal of hunting letters in WA, Aaron? Who would support that, Aaron?
A certain
take a wild guess. Well, organisations that would be happy for you not to get your letter, so you can
shoot
at their club, at their range, making money out of you. So don't be surprised if that's what happens, guys. Again, we've been right before. We'll be right again in the future.
Yep, exactly. And a few of our predictions look like they will be coming true within the next month as well on a few different things.
And before we find out, Brendan Davies, they're done at 181, says, which organisation is still supporting our rights? Well, as I said, at this stage, nothing's happening in WA. There's nothing legal happening. So my answer would be none. Thank you. That's it. Let's finish off.
Yep, exactly. Well, guys, thank you very much for joining us tonight. It has been a fantastic night. It's always good to catch up with you top people. It is, definitely a highlight of our weeks. So we will be seeing you in a couple of weeks' time because of the soccer match or something on next week with New South Wales and Queensland.
And just remember, Aaron loves little guys running around in their little tight shorts. He loves it.
I don't watch football, mate. You're the one who die-hard football fan. You love watching those men rolling around together. And
I'm sorry about the roll call, guys. My apologies. We forgot about it. We got on a bit of a roll. Anyway, let's go. I've got to go, man. I've got to move. I've got to go.
All righty. Okay, we will see you in 14 days' time. Take care, guys. Be safe, and see you then. Good night.